Hi guys, so it's Crimson Butterfly here again for TogetherweR Wednesdays. So I'm going to answer in this video positive outlets and coping mechanisms for dealing with unwanted feelings. So for me, if I'm having unwanted feelings that I want to escape from, if I'm alone, I might read a book. I'm not the world's fastest reader. In fact, it generally takes me a very long time to read books. I have read books. I can read quickly, but I like to take my time and read them. So sometimes it's nice when you're reading a book, you get lost in that storyline, and it helps distract you from your feelings, which is sometimes nice. Sometimes if I'm not in a reading mood, or if I'm tired, sometimes when reading, it requires a lot of concentration, I find, and if you're reading a book, you want to be able to read and get absorbed into the story. So if you're feeling a bit tired, it doesn't really work very well. But sometimes I'll put a favourite movie on, something. I might choose something light-hearted, or I might choose something just actiony, depending on my mood. So yeah, sometimes I'll watch a movie to kind of distract myself, get lost in that. Or another one of the things I do, which I don't do half as often as I used to, but I used to be quite a big gamer. I used to love playing survival horror games, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, that sort of game. Also, the thing I've taken up in the last couple of years is crochet. So sometimes if I'm feeling, I'll just pick up my crochet thing. At the moment I'm crocheting a baby blanket, which is taking me forever because I don't do it nearly as often as I should, and considering it's going to be for my baby, I best get on with it pretty soon. But yes, crochet, sometimes it's nice you're doing something with your hands and it requires a bit of concentration, so it takes your mind off anxious feelings, or like I said, generally unwanted feelings. Sometimes I find that trying to distract yourself from these feelings isn't necessarily always the best thing to do. Sometimes you might need to deal with those feelings. So sometimes if it's about a specific situation, or specific people or something like that, sometimes I find the best thing to do is get a blank sheet of paper, or open a Word document or something, and just write out your feelings, write how you're feeling. Don't worry about your grammar or your spelling or anything like that, or punctuation. Just let it all out, because I found in the past, sometimes if you don't get those feelings out, they tend to bottle up, and they tend to build up, and it tends to come out in other ways. So it might fuel your eating disorder. So sometimes you have to deal with unwanted feelings in a good way, like I said, in a positive way. So sometimes writing about, sometimes distracting can distract, reading, watching movies and all that kind of stuff can help distract you, but sometimes you have to physically deal with the emotions. One thing I don't do, but it is probably a good thing, is if you do have someone that you can talk to openly and honestly to, whether it be like a therapist, or a doctor, or a counsellor, or just a close friend. Sometimes just airing those feelings out can help you, even if you don't solve the issues behind those feelings. Sometimes just having, talking about them can help it deal with it in your mind, or help ease the unpleasantness of the feelings. So yeah, if you have a close friend, sometimes I do talk to my husband, but he's can only help so much. But sometimes I do actually talk to him a lot. So yeah, generally those are my coping mechanisms. The question for this week is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? In a short answer, I have absolutely no idea. There's no particular place I can say off the top of my head, or I've even given it a little bit of thought, that I would say I would particularly like to live. There's a lot of nice places in this world, and there's a lot of places I'd love to visit. Japan is definitely one of my top places I want to visit. I like to visit Egypt, Russia, you know, various places all around the world I'd love to visit. But as for like living somewhere, I'm not too sure where I would like to live permanently or anything like that. The area where I live is nice, so I don't mind living there, but living here, I should say. But off the top of my head, I have no idea where in the world I'd like to live specifically, but yes. Probably a bit of a crappy answer to that, so sorry about that. But yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next week. So, see ya.